What's going on, beautiful people? We are back with another episode that you are absolutely going to love, because today we are giving you the crystal ball into how to make the most money for the sale in your house in the spring, people. So stay tuned. Tons of info that you're going to absolutely love. But before we get started, you know how to do this, right? We have to introduce the amazing, the wonderful, the stupendous, right? Emily, right? With Elevate Title, you know, my go-to title company, who gives us all this amazing information and actually knows the ins and outs of how we can capitalize everything in regards to selling your home in Orlando. So Emily, we haven't seen each other since like January, New Year's, Christmas. How's all that? That's good.
I've been absolutely great, just a little chilly, but other than that, I've been doing really good.
You see that? Turtlenecks in Florida, anything under 70 degrees here. If you guys did not know, I'm a Florida boy, so you can judge me all you want, okay?
We're coordinating over here, actually.
We did it. And we didn't even plan this, but you see how on point we are,
We're
right?
in sync.
So this is why you guys are going to know in spring, in the summer, how to capitalize, because how in sync we are. So let's start, right?
Get started.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
real quick, guys, this is simpler than a lot of people actually know in regards to selling your home and capitalizing, but it does take a lot of upfront work, right? And what I mean by that is one thing that, you know, I specifically do with my clients that I strongly encourage all of my sellers to do is something called a pre-inspection.
Absolutely. You know, I actually love that you said the word crystal ball. You want to know why? Because in this video, well, actually in your previous video, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to look at Deontay's last video, you absolutely have to. When working with experts such as yourself, and you hear the word crystal ball, it quite literally is that. We are looking at the market trends, because everybody wants to know, okay, when is the best time? When is the best time? That's what we're doing.
Right.
We're going back, we're looking at reports, we're doing our jobs to make sure that we are the experts in this field. Me, myself, Emily, in the title aspect, you yourself in the real estate industry, making sure that we have this market trend, looking at all of the reports that we need to look at, getting things in place like your pre-inspections. You're just going to be teeing up these sellers to be at the best position possible. I love it. So tell me a little bit more about the pre-inspection.
Yeah, so what's so super important about it is, if you guys understand the process, and if you don't, when a buyer goes after your house, they're going to hire an inspector, right? And you don't know this yet, but that is probably one of the most contentious times of a contract is that inspection period. So what we want to do is put you guys in a leverage position by actually doing the inspection first, right? And contrary to popular belief, this is going to save you money, right? Because when we do our own pre-inspection, you can understand what's going on in your house. And yes, you've lived in it for all these years. It's beautiful and stuff like that, right? But when you sign that contract, it's no longer your house, right? So the consumer is going to come up with a ton of things that they deem not worthy for them. So we want to get ahead of that, right?
Absolutely.
So when you do that pre-inspection, we can get a list of, okay, the buyer may come back to this and want this repaired, or we can say, we don't want to worry about that, right? And ultimately, when we are in control, you can hire your contractor, your plumber, your floor guy, who's going to give you a fair price, as opposed to risking going under contract. Okay. And a $5,000 fix is going to be a $10,000 fix, and you want to sell it.
All those negotiations take place right then and there. I see it all the time in the title world. That's why I love when I get to do these videos with you, talking to an expert like yourself, because those pre-inspections are key. They're always key. They always save the most money in advance. You pay in advance, and then you go ahead and you have a little bit more of a play. You put yourself, like he said, you leverage yourself. You're putting up yourself as a seller, knowing what costs you're looking at in advance, so that way when you're under contract, all the closing costs, everything else, all of the actual funds that go into closing, you're now looking at possibly one less bill, because you got ahead of the game, you fixed what needed to be fixed. And fix is a tricky word, but I gotta be real. It's just what you want to do in advance, so that way you get the most money in your pocket at the end of the day.
Right. And what's super important about this and why we want to do this now in February, right, is because you were talking about reports before. So ORRA, right, our realtor report, they have like a 20-year study of all the sales that are going on. And there's 3 key seasons, we'll call, that sellers get their most money, right? And our first season is coming up in the spring. Right.
Correct. The spring market. Just to backtrack a little bit, ORRA, so you guys know what it is. ORRA is the Orlando Regional Realtors Association. So that is an association that I work closely with as a title company. I partner with them all the time, and that you are a part of. It's an association in the real estate industry that puts up reports like the one he is talking about, that is separated into different segments. And it just reported the highest month of closings. That matters as a seller. This is the crystal ball part that he's talking about. Wink, wink. It says here, June is the #1 month of closing, most often as the near peak month of closed sales. So what does that mean? That means that you want to have yourself prepped, not just with the pre-inspections, but have everything lined up as a timeline for a couple months in advance to the month of June. So that you can be ahead of the game. You're the one that the buyers are going to be looking at. You want to be the person in advance to June, because if June is the month of the most amount of closings, then that means that it was on the market a couple months prior to that.
Like April, May is when it's actually getting under contract, because it typically takes about 30 days to close, right?
Exactly. So yeah, contracts are going to be closing April and May, written up in April and May, and then they close in June. And then you have that spring momentum paying off. So in May, the spring momentum pays off. In March, the market wakes up. And then that's when you have the tax returns hit. You have the weather improving, buyers getting serious, because we're talking about the weather here in Central Florida. Honorable months as well, January and February. So in the last video that Deontay had, we were talking about that crystal ball and everything that was coming in January. And I know we're recording right now in February, but I have to say it's incredible, like being able to see all of these market trends in advance and know when is the best time as a seller to be like lining up myself to go ahead and list the property. We had all the mortgage rates change. That was something that we were seeing. We kind of knew that was coming.
In December we talked about it.
We talked about it in December. We talked about it in that video. And
Check the receipts.
Check the receipts. And then in this video, now we're talking about the report that just came out from ORRA and how they're talking about June being the highest closed month. And you want to get prepped for that now.
And this is the thing, what me and Emily were talking about off camera. It's like a lot of people ask about crystal balls and when should I do this? When should I do this? It's never broadcast, guys, on a big billboard that says now. It's these small little indicators, these small little nuggets, like these reports right here that we can see a 20-year history, right? Also, you guys are going to see in other videos, we're headed out to Claremont. Claremont has a lot of different things that are being, opened and pushed, right? A pub. What's the name of it?
The Pups Pub.
The Pups
I am
Pub.
so excited about that.
We are going to that, right? But to give you an example of why would somebody put that in their community, right? Because they're seeing trends, demographic trends, more families moving in. So paying attention to these little small things that we're introducing to you guys and bringing to you guys is the crystal ball, is how you take advantage. Because and I know, just outside of real estate, by time everybody knows, it's too late, right?
It's too late.
That's what we're here to provide for.
Sellers get rewarded. The sellers that act fast, that act now, act strategically, are the ones that get rewarded the most.
Point blank, period, right? So check this out. Our contact information is going to be in the description below. Listen, I promise you, reach out. Right, Emily, if you need anything about title, anything about market trends, or how to sell your home, she has the data. That's what her company does for a living, right? So reach out to her. My contact information is going to be there in regards to positioning yourself to get the most money and sell in the time period that you guys need. And make sure you always stay tuned, right? Because you don't get crystal ball information like this anywhere else. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.
Bye. Peace.